Hi, I'm Ben, a German home cook, and in this series I'll be sharing everything I've learned from cooking traditional German food every single day for the past 10 years. We're kicking things off with Germany's very own take on mac and cheese. It's called Käsespätzle, and it's a super popular comfort food here in Germany, but still pretty unknown in most parts of the world. So I'll show you how to make it at home super authentically, no matter where you live. And you don't need any fancy tools or ingredients. Chances are you already have everything you need in your kitchen. Alright, so let's get into it. First, crack 3 eggs into a big bowl. Then add 50 milliliters or a quarter cup of milk and another 50 milliliters or a quarter cup of water. Give it all a good whisk until it's more or less smooth and combined. Now, in a second, smaller bowl, we're mixing up the dry stuff. 200 grams or 7 ounces of flour. Plain flour works great, but I'm using type 550 here, which is even better. And 50 grams or a little less than 2 ounces of semolina. That's what gives the dough a nice bite and texture. Now stir until it looks like an even mix. Next, we start bringing the two together. Slowly add the dry ingredients into the egg mixture bit by bit and keep stirring as you go. Adding the flour gradually helps avoid lumps. And yeah, stirring constantly with a spatula gets a little tiring. I definitely had to switch hands halfway through, but trust me, this old school way of mixing pays off big time. Once everything's come together into a smooth dough, add 1 level teaspoon of salt and a pinch of nutmeg. Don't skip it, it adds a distinct flavor, very cozy, and it makes the dish what it is. Then give it all another round of mixing, and this time try to whip a little air into it by folding the dough over itself again and again. After that, set the dough aside to rest. Next up are the onions. Grab 1 large sweet onion, cut off the ends, peel it and slice it into rings. Try to separate the rings so they are all nice and loose. Now mix about 30 grams or 1 ounce of flour with half a teaspoon of paprika in a small bowl. Then toss in the onion rings and coat them really well. In a small pot, heat up around 200 grams or 7 ounces of clarified butter for a supreme taste, or if you want to go cheaper, you can use regular vegetable oil too. Now in go the onions, let them fry for a few minutes. Don't crank up the heat too much. These rings are thin and go from golden to burnt real fast. Once they're crispy and golden, sprinkle with some salt and set them aside. You can keep them warm in the oven or just snack on a few, I won't tell. Alright, back to the noodles. You don't need any special noodle making tools here, just 2 basic squeeze bottles. The kind you get at IKEA for like $3. Link is in the description below. To get the dough to flow just right, I trimmed the tips off the bottles with a knife. Here's what it looks like. Factory version on the left, my slightly hacked version on the right. Now just spoon the dough into the bottles. Sure, a little might spill here and there, but it still works well enough. At the end, you should have 2 bottles, each around half full. Make sure your cooking water is well salted. Don't be shy here. Then squeeze the dough right into the boiling water. I do kind of a spiral motion, but honestly, the shape doesn't really matter. They'll break up in the water anyway, and they'll taste good no matter what. Let them cook for just 2 minutes, and you'll see some white foam gathering at the top. That's your signal that they're done. Take the pot off the heat. Pour your noodles into a colander and give them a gentle toss. But make sure to save that starchy cooking water. You'll want to bring it back into the pot for round 2. And let me tell you, for some reason, the second batch usually goes even smoother. Okay, time for the third act, which is the sauce. Start up with 1 small onion or 2 shallots, finely diced. Toss them into the pan with 1 tablespoon of butter and let them cook until they turn soft and glassy. Now it's time to build some depth. Add 1 teaspoon of brown sugar and 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. It's that sweet and sour balance that quietly makes everything better. To give the sauce its body, pour in 100 milliliters or half a cup of heavy cream and give it a good stir. Now, here's a little secret ingredient too. Add about 5 grams of powdered broth or half a bouillon cube like I'm using here. It really gives the sauce that extra something. Of course, what would mac and cheese be without the cheese? Grate 150 grams or 5.3 ounces of a nutty, mild Emmental cheese and 150 grams or 5.3 ounces of a sharper Alpine-style mountain cheese. Something from Germany or Switzerland would obviously be ideal for this recipe. Next, add the noodles straight into the cream sauce. Toss them gently so everything gets nicely coated. If things look a bit dry, add a splash of water. These noodles love to soak up sauce. At this point, you can turn the heat way down or even off. It's finally time for the cheese. Add the cheese gradually, letting it melt slowly into the noodles. Keep stirring as you go, folding the cheese until everything is smooth and gooey. You can add a splash more of that pasta water or milk if you want it extra creamy. As you can see, the German version of this dish is noticeably different in texture compared to the American one. It's less of a uniform sauce and much more of a web of melted cheese strands. And I'm here for it. Last but not least, season with salt and pepper to taste. Again, don't be shy. It would be a crime to undersalt this masterpiece. Technically, this is a 2-person recipe, but let's be real here, it's most likely a single serving situation. Top it off with your crispy onions and a sprinkle of fresh chives. And just like that, you've made German-style mac and cheese. Give it a try and let me know how it went in the comments below. More cozy recipes are on the way. So don't forget to hit subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.